The Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe's Environment Division recently had members of the BIA, Eastern Region and Forest Inventory and Planning Office to assist with taking samples and to offer their technical support. Jessica Respitha, Land Resources Program Manager from the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe's Environment Division, spoke about their intentions for gathering the forest sample measurements and how this process will contribute to updating their forest management plan.
They came to visit us because we are in the process of updating our forest management plan, and to do that we need to update our forest inventory. We want to do that because our forests haven't been inventoried since 2007, and over time forests change. As the forest ages, the composition, the size of the trees, the understory, all of those things change over time. And so we wanted to get a good view of what is happening right now in our forests. So our partners at BIA, they offered to come and help us to offer technical support of taking sample measurements so that they can best advise on how would we want to inventory the forest types we have here. Given the very dense forest we have and all the biodiversity, it's good to have a plan in place before we start that inventory to make sure we are capturing the correct information and getting a good representation of what all of our forest cover in Akwesasne looks like. As part of this inventory process, our goal was to target 25 different forest stands throughout Akwesasne, and to do that, our forestry team, Angela Johnson, Tyler Curlyhead, Tyler Jacobs, Ricardo Nahar, and Sug O'Rourke, they've been working with our partners from BIA in different teams. They formed 4 separate teams, and throughout the last 3 days, they've inventoried all of those sites. So BIA is going to take that information back, and they're going to provide us with a summary report to tell us how best we can measure these forests so that we can update our inventory and therefore update our management plan, because we want to be the most effective stewards of our land as we can. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that we are very intentional in what our objectives are long term and how we wanted to get there.
Respitha also spoke about the overall goal of the forest inventory and what the BIA will do with the data collected.
So one of the primary differences between now and 2007, when that last inventory was done, was the arrival of the emerald ash borer. So one of the things we want to be really intentional about is keeping track of the health and well-being and the habitat that our black ash, green ash, and white ash are existing in. We made a special point to note when we have EAB presence on these sites, because that's also going to help us inform how we want to set our sampling methodology going forward.
The last inventory conducted was in 2007. Akwesasne had not yet been introduced to the emerald ash borer, and the teams are paying special attention to all of the black, green, and white ash trees.
So in addition to visiting as many different forest canopy types as we could, we also made a point of visiting a black ash stand so we can walk them through not only what we look for when we're looking for basket grade trees, but all the different mitigation efforts we're already taking to try to combat our emerald ash borer impacts.
The Environment Division felt it was important to show the agency partners the cultural significance of the ash tree species and to provide an educational space to emphasize the history behind our landscapes.
It's really important for us that we know that our agency partners, they understand the ecological significance of our species, they understand the scientific impacts when a species is at risk, but it's important for us to talk to them and walk them through why the species are also culturally significant and how damage to a natural resource can damage our culture if we lose that resource. We also had the opportunity to sit down with Darren Bonaparte from the Tribal Historic Preservation Office and visit his workspace to give them a good historical understanding of our land use over the years since pre-settlement, post-settlement, the industrialization and those impacts. And I think that really helped give them a good understanding of how our landscape has changed over the course of our history in Akwesasne. From there, we also took a small tour of the area just to discuss the different geopolitical issues, the international boundary, the impacts that has had, and how those things shape our land use as well.